Hi guys, welcome back to Armin's Tech Talk. Come join me as we continue our predictions for CES. Concentrating on ASUS, or ASUS as a lot of people call them, Republic of Gamers, ROG. Now, this is the gaming segment of ASUS. They do have a more general consumer segment, but for today's CES predictions, I'm literally going to concentrate on their gamer segment. And they are a DIY, do-it-yourself kind of brand in that. They're the enthusiast brand, and they do things from motherboards to graphics cards to headphones to mice to keyboards to headsets. I mean, they do a wide variety of product categories. So I want to start this off with their monitor segment. As 2020, we had the virus, a lot of products either didn't get released or they got canceled. Now, one of the most interesting products that ROG, I don't know if I should call them ROG or if I should call them ASUS, but one of the most interesting products that the Republic of Gamers showed off last year in 2020 was the PG32UQX. This was a 4K monitor. It was 144 Hertz. It was G-Sync Ultimate. It had HDMI 2.1, according to the claims of a lot of 2020 CES videos. It had 1,152 dimming zone. It was a full array, locally backlit LED IPS display. So this thing was massive. There was never a price point on this. The monitor itself had a new certification. It was HDR or VESA HDR 1400 compliant. So that means that the monitor was able to hit 1400 nits peak brightness. This monitor was something else to behold. I wish I had actually been able to set my eyes on it personally. And this is one of the most interesting monitors that I want to really see come to market in 2021. Hopefully they've been able to sort out a lot of the HDMI controller issues that a lot of AVRs and other companies have been having. I would like to see them sort that out and bring this product to market this year. Now, ASUS hasn't revealed the price on this thing. They never really got around to mentioning what this price is. Easily, I'm telling you, because monitor enthusiast monitor pricing has been so outrageous over the last several years. I wouldn't be surprised if this monitor was $3,500. But of course, also, and I've said this in my last video, I think that companies like ASUS really need to get their act together, because you can get a LG OLED for much cheaper. Now, moving on, the other interesting monitor that ASUS had last year that they didn't have a price point on, I don't even think they had a model number for this one, but it was a 360 Hertz monitor, most likely 1080p, and they were building this monitor really for the professional market. Like, it was for esports gamers. It was for people that really wanted that motion clarity. Again, no price point, no specific specifications of what the screen was. I would assume maybe a VA panel, something that has really quick switching, definitely much faster than IPS, of course. I don't think at this point they would go back to a TN panel. It's possible, but I don't think so. Max resolution, again, I would estimate to be 1080p, unless they're using something like DisplayPort 2.0, but at this point, there's nothing out there that supports DisplayPort 2.0. But hey, you know what? This is CES predictions. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go out on a limb. If they show this monitor this year, DisplayPort 2.0. It's going to have it. It's going to be there for 1080p 360 hertz gaming. I know I'm going out on a limb, but that's what these predictions are for. They released a 43-inch monitor last year. It had 1,000 nits. I don't know if they would refresh that or if they would go another year on that monitor. Maybe we would see a refresh, maybe 1,200 nits, maybe something a little bit closer to that Halo product that they were going to release last year. Probably not quite so many dimming zones it's really hard to say because you're expanding the size, but if you're decreasing the dimming zones, how that would be priced, I would expect it if they don't make it as bright, don't have as many dimming zones, maybe you could price it a little bit under that Halo product. Actually, maybe that Halo product won't even be their Halo product this year. Maybe that PG32 UQX will come to market and they will have something else to dazzle us. The problem with a lot of their products, especially at that high end, is sometimes they do take a year or two to bake in the oven, even though they say they're coming out later in the year. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily make it in the year and it's next year. Moving on to motherboards, I think we're going to see a lot from Asus this year. I don't know if they're going to talk about Alder Lake. Alder Lake depends what Intel's roadmap really looks like. If Intel launches it in second half 2021, we probably will see something more at Computex and maybe a hint at CES. But at this point, I think that what we're really going to see is Z590, Z570, maybe some of the B boards or H boards, whatever Intel's integrated socket is. And this is going to be for Rocket Lake X. Rocket Lake S. This is going to be Intel's 11th generation. We will probably see PCIe 4 on these boards finally. USB 4, I don't think that's part of the chipset, but maybe. Usually a lot of the board manufacturers will end up getting a chipset out of a third-party manufacturer a lot quicker than Intel goes about integrating it onto the board. So it's a possibility that we would actually see USB 4 make a third-party chip introduction on these Rocket Lake boards if they decide to do that. Again, PCIe 4.0, I would expect on most of their boards two M.2 slots. I would also expect the usual number of SATA ports, so six SATA, 4 SATA maybe, but probably 6. U.2 I think is a dead format, so I don't think we'll see any U.2 ports. Integrated Wi-Fi, usually the Asus ROG boards come with integrated Wi-Fi. So most of these boards at this point, 802.11ax, otherwise known as Wi-Fi 6. There's a slight possibility that we might see them use 802.11ax or AXE. I don't know if actually the E is on the 802.11 part, but it's Wi-Fi 6E. And what the E stands for is Wi-Fi Extended. This is actually an extension of the Wi-Fi 6 protocol. It allows them to use the 6 gigahertz band for Wi-Fi transmission of devices. There's no actual devices out there yet that support this. However, it's not uncommon for motherboard manufacturers to jump a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to supporting a Wi-Fi standard. So 2021, we're moving in more and more into the gigabit era. I'm going to go out on a limb and say most of these boards will have a 2.5G NIC on board, maybe a 5G NIC for the real high-end boards, 10 gigabit. Again, 2.5 gig, 5 gig, 10 gig. This isn't for your internet. This is if you have a network attached storage at home that's not USB 3.0. This is if you have a second computer that you're storing things on, if you have a media server. This is so you can move files back and forth. I think that'll be a very important feature on these motherboards. Asus ROG's always had good sound. I don't know if we're going to see really any upgrades there. Some boards, they usually include a DAC. Maybe they'll do that. I don't know. We haven't seen that in a while. So yeah, let's throw that on there. They'll have a DAC with one of their boards. And then we're going to see, of course, the normal assortment of ITX, mini ATX, ATX, E-ATX boards from the manufacturer. I'm actually going to go out on a limb for this one as well and say that, and this is probably a pretty good limb to stand on, that all of their new motherboards, they're going to be RGB. There's probably going to be more RGBs than there was in the previous generation. I know that's hard to do, but they will probably do it. They just launched a new Delta headset, so I don't know if we'll see anything new in the headset arena. We might see, if NVIDIA, which actually goes slightly before Asus ROG does on the 12th of January. I believe that NVIDIA goes at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and then ROG goes at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So this is noon and 1 p.m. on the 12th of January for those press conferences that'll be live streamed. We'll probably see their version of a 3080 Ti, 3080 Super, whatever they're deciding to call it. I don't think that's really that drastic of a prediction for the company. And I think that's really going to encompass a lot of what they're going to show. CES isn't necessarily known super well as the computer component manufacturer, although they will throw a few things out here and there, but usually the big show for computer parts is Computex, and that, of course, happens in the June to July timeframe. So what do you guys think? Is there anything specific that you would love to see from Asus at CES? Something that you're really looking forward to, something that you really wish that they would put out, whether it's a 4K, 5K monitor. Actually, there we go. What do you guys think if Asus were to actually launch a 5K monitor, or even show a prototype of an 8K monitor? I know monitor technology has been falling behind in comparison over the last several years. And actually, okay, here's a wild one. I don't expect this one to be true. I'll throw out a wild one. Maybe Asus will finally show off the first actual consumer grade sub 55-inch OLED monitor. Not a television, but a monitor. So something that actually has the proper connections that we would expect for a monitor. Asus has always pushed the boundaries when it comes to technology in that area, so that could be something we see. Also, do you guys think we'll see new power supplies from them this year? Because they did do power supplies a few years ago. They also did AI cooling a few years ago, and I don't know how successful that was for them because we really haven't seen a lot of refresh products since. But again, is there anything that you're really excited to see? Is there anything that you would hope that they do? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see more content from this channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when a new video goes up. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And thank you for joining me for this CES prediction episode, and I will see you in the next video.